welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me tonight, it is my good friend, my lifelong friend, Edward Lawrence Radosevich III from Sooner Scoop and from 107.7 The Franchise. Eddie, we did it.
Andrew, what a monumental day in Oklahoma City. And I am so excited because, like I was telling you before we got started, like I don't think I was nervous, but I did have this, what if this doesn't pass? And I was extremely nervous about the thoughts of having to go on radio for 4 hours in the morning and talk about this not passing. And now it's a little bit more fun to be able to speak about.
Well, I was listening to you. I was listening to you on my way to vote this morning. And especially after the way you talked about the naysayers or the people that are voting no.
Just the worst people.
And
I understand they're good people, but they're terrible people.
Yeah, I can't remember how you put it. It was like, maybe these are such dorks, or I don't remember how you put it, but you were like just no bones about it. What's going on here?
Well, I just the foresight into, and I'm sure that we can get into all this, but the idea that saying no to, and I understand that people are upset about the way that the money is going to come and the billionaire owners and all that yada yada yada. It just, if you don't understand, and if you didn't grow up in Oklahoma City like we did and know how far the city has come and how far the downtown area has come because of the Thunder and everything that comes with it, and not to mention all the concerts and everything that's going to come to a new arena, it's wild to me to think that you wouldn't want that, and how that would be the betterment of the city, which will then funnel down to everything else that they want to get done.
Dude, could you imagine having an NBA team in Oklahoma City when we were kids?
No, not at all. Not at all. You went down for Spaghetti Warehouse maybe once every blue moon, and then if you just happen to be down there after night, you try to get back to the northwest side as fast as possible.
Right. I remember being a kid and always and not, I couldn't even imagine what it was like to go to an NBA game.
Yeah.
We watched a ton of sports, when we were kids, and grew up watching the NBA, and I couldn't ever imagine what it would have been like just to be in the building, let alone have one in your city.
Oh, it's crazy. And then to have the core that they did, way back when with KD and Russ and everybody else. I mean, it's just incredible. And the excitement now that everything is building, it's just, we've talked about this on the radio time and time again here during the first part of the season, is just the vibe in this city when things are going well for the Thunder is it's incomparable. I mean, it is comparable to the way that, people desire the college athletics and Oklahoma football and Oklahoma State basketball and everything else, but it's special. And I'm really excited that this finally came to pass.
It's so good. And won in a landslide, 70.96%. Which is great, which is about 40,000 people that voted yes to 16,000 that voted no. Man, it's amazing. That's the way that it should have been. The no voters were very loud, and I give them credit because we heard them. We heard them over the past couple of weeks, and I understand some of the reasons to say no, but I don't think it's backed with the correct logic.
Sure,
because ultimately, the reason we have the Thunder is because there was a no vote in Seattle. That's why we have them.
It's
and
crazy.
So for us to feel I don't know. I just can't get the mentality where it's we feel the cockiness to be we need. I demand a better deal. So you demand a better deal, dude. You shouldn't have an NBA team. They shouldn't even be here at all. We can't. There's no better deal than us getting to keep the team until 2050. I get the economic stuff that people want to talk about. I don't care because it keeps the NBA team here till 2050. I can't even. I feel weird even saying that year as something that exists.
It's insane.
It seems so far away. Eventually, it will be 2050, and we still will have an NBA team here.
It's beautiful, and they're really good, and they're going to be better in the years to come. And they have 1,000 billion picks that they're going to be able to do whatever with. It's just the whole idea too of the penny sales tax, and for people our age, we've grown up with it. I say this very and I know that other people have other situations, but a penny sales tax to me is, I don't even think twice about it in terms of the entertainment that's going to bring to me, the entertainment that it brings my friends that have kids, and they're able to take their kids to all the games. It's crazy to me to think that you would want to get in the way of something that I truly think is going to progress the city for years and years to come.
Yes. And also, they're going to build, and they're calling it like a sports complex.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling it. And it's going to be incredible. It's going to change how we look at the city. And I don't think we're factoring that in quite enough. Because I think when we think about an arena, like we think about the Paycom Center, which is the second smallest arena in the NBA. By the time that this is going to be built, it will have been like one of the oldest arenas too. So it's just like it was going to happen. I mean, the mayor's made it very clear, like there was going to be a new arena built in Oklahoma City, probably no matter what. And if we voted this one down and like the worst thing in the world happened where the Thunder leave, we're still going to need to build a new arena.
Right.
And also, there won't be an NBA team to even pay $50 million for it.
Right. It's just bewildering. And I think that, a lot of it too, and this might be a little bit of a commentary. I don't think this is like political, but it's a commentary on the vocal minority is usually the loudest. And I think that, in the sports realm of things, we see that, with OU fans and offense coordinators, it's just, I don't know. It was reassuring to know that there are more like-minded individuals like myself and like you that feel like the Thunder and the presence that they have within the city. It's something maybe bigger than I even really remembered or realized. And it's always good to see that the turnout was what it was. Because I was a little bit nervous just in terms of what this outcome was going to be and what it would mean for truly a place that, I definitely plan on spending the rest of my life in. So it's a monumental day in Oklahoma City. I feel very good for everybody that was a part of kind of the charge to get this thing passed.
Yeah, same. I think it's a great thing for the city just
Sure.
to keep an NBA team and to get an awesome new arena that will be here likely. I mean, the goal is to have it built before 2030, so like 2029 or 2028.
So far away. That's still so far away.
No, it's still really far away. And I'm now gonna just put my pitch in here. Thunder, please give us our courtside seats back. Like, just please. Please. You can do this. You can arrange this. Please do that. That's one thing that I would really like. And I now know they're just going to put us up way higher now.
Yeah, probably. That's the way that I think everybody works nowadays that are building new arenas. It's also crazy to me too, thinking about like how old the Ford Center / Chesapeake, /
I know, approved in '92. Like, did you remember
crazy.
that?
No, yeah. Not at all.
Yeah,
I would have been 5.
Yeah, it doesn't. It felt like. I mean, I remember like going and seeing it when it was built. Obviously, approved in '92 and then built years later. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I guess we're just old now.
That's part of it, and I don't like reminding myself of that.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But yeah, it's cool, and it would have hurt just like it hurt Seattle. Like, can you imagine what it felt like to be a citizen of Seattle and to have watched Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Serge Ibaka grow into this like 50-win monster in the matter of just months, and sat back and be like, man, like we voted no for that.
Yeah,
and then the same thing is about to happen here. The same thing is about to happen here now, and now we don't have to watch them from afar or make a documentary or save our Thunder or whatever.
Yeah,
we don't have to do any of that crap. Like, we
remember all the I remember all the trolling that I did when the Thunder initially came, and I can see why the venom from the Seattle side. I can like get a little peek of what they were talking about in terms of the anger that was coming out of Seattle at the time. But it's incredible, and I think like what the Thunder have done here over the last just a quarter of the early portion of this season, it's just like the excitement level in this city of going places. And like I went to a bar on Saturday night a couple Saturdays ago after a high school game and the state championship over in Edmond, and like every person was locked on to a Thunder game. And it's been so long since that has kind of been the case. Like, you walk in a place and everybody's watching because they're so in tune with everything that's going on with the Thunder in the early portion of the season. It's awesome.
Yeah. They're so good. I mean, I watched them just dismantle, just absolutely just destroy a team last night. And I was just like, I can't remember a time where it was like, man, like I'm going to watch them play Utah, and I'm like, okay, they're going to kill them. They're going
Yeah.
to absolutely kill them. And I was like, man, this is kind of cool that you can go up and just like know that Shea is just going to get anything he wants against that team. And like something weird is going to happen. Like Usman Jang was like the weird thing that happened last night, where it's like, hey, like Usman Jang, 18 points, cool. Like that's weird. That's because the Thunder are just so much better.
Yeah.
Like something weird is bound to happen because they're just going to destroy them.
It's somebody every night. It seems like and J-Dub, like in the early, like over the last week and a half, 2 weeks has been he's incredible. He's starting to really, it looks like, become very comfortable within kind of the system in his game.
Oh yeah, Dub is really good. He was so aggressive last night.
Yeah.
Just getting to the hoop, looking for alley oops. So forceful. And then he's like been able to, when he gets left in the mid range, like you just know it's over. Like it's just absolutely done. Like everybody is cooked once he gets left in the mid range. Yeah, he's been amazing. He's been amazing. I'm gonna ask for questions.
Yeah, that's cool.
We got a lot of questions, so let's take some questions from people. From Michael McAfee. Is today the greatest day to be alive?
I don't know about the greatest day to be alive, because I'm going to reserve that for the championship parade. But this is certainly up there in the lows that this thing has been, over the last, since Russ left, really. It always kind of felt like you're just growing and growing and growing and waiting for this moment to come. And then to finally kind of get to that point where it feels like the trajectory starting to go back up into the positive category. If this would have just been swept from underneath us, I think this would have hurt more than maybe like KD leaving. I mean, truthfully, if the team was if you were faced with that type of reality, I mean, it's incredible to me that we're even talking about this in some form or fashion, in the manner of, that this was even a possibility.
Yeah. I also think this is a reference to being a PC North Panther from
Michael. It is a great day to be a Panther, though, for sure. Shout out Mayor Holt. Shout out Mayor Holt as well.
I know there's lots of Panthers out there right now. It's awesome.
100%.
It's very cool. Let's see. If Sports 7405 wants us to tell funny stories from when we were kids. I mean, when I think about you, I think about just playing in Monkeys with Matches as like one of like
absolutely
that.
Absolutely. We'll have to tweet the picture out. We were in a band. It's no big deal.
We
played a lot of basketball in either of our front driveways, for sure.
Yes.
Yours was in the backyard, I think.
Yep. It was we had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
Monkeys with Matches was definitely one of them. We won the 3-on-3 tournament.
Absolutely.
Me, you, and Greg Hill in the 6th grade.
Absolutely.
Wearing our Monkeys with Matches shirts, I believe.
100%. 100%. Dominated. I did nothing. Just threw it down to you and Greg down low. And you guys basically just put up all the points.
That's right. That was so much fun. Let's see. At T_Neil, Tyler Neal. Shout out Tyler Neal. Colleague of yours, friend of mine. What can the OU Board of Regents learn as it relates to the new OU arena from this monumental day in the BLC? I'll let you handle this one.
Here's the deal, Tyler. Now the mission needs to be to talk everybody into building this damn thing somewhere in between Moore and Norman, and then they could just share the facility. How about that? OU will pay a little bit more. Maybe they'll throw in it. They don't have to pay a left guard now with Caden Green, so maybe they can use that money to funnel it over to a new arena.
From my buddy at Alex_Bowlerjack, who's the perfect name to sponsor the new arena?
Oh man, that's a great question. So do we, and this is like, I'm sure that the no voters will get a chuckle out of this. Do we know anything about like where it's going to be built or anything?
I mean, there's only speculation at this point.
And I guess like across the street from Paycom is a good idea, or no?
Yeah, I think part of the idea is that like the Prairie Surf Studios, which was the Cox Convention Center, which was the Myriad, is, I mean, it should probably be torn down anyways. Yeah. And so I think that is a viable spot for it. And then, because like, here's the deal. Like if OKC ever wants to like do something like host an all-star weekend,
sure.
Like you need to have 2 arenas to do it.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that you would tear down both. I think that you would keep the Paycom, and I think you would tear down where the Myriad is, and then put the building there.
Be awesome.
But I think that there's certainly other plans floating out there. I don't know what they'll do, but now's the time that they get to work on that.
I think we should let Joe Beth Hammond pick out the new spot.
You should. You should make a video of you and her scouting out some spots. You think she'd be willing?
I don't know this for a fact, but from early indication on Twitter, I don't think she's a big fan. I don't think, but I think we should let bygones be bygones. And yes, that would be a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I would definitely. I would want to be a part of it in some way.
It's all in good fun. We're all from Oklahoma City. We're all from Oklahoma City.
We all want what's best for the city. Some of us just know what's best.
That's right. That's right. All. And I mean, here's the deal. She's still invited to the championship parade, but she's going to be kind of further in the back. And that's okay. She's still in the parade.
We got the Sonic Center, which I just don't know that they would do that. I don't know that they would just like rub it in the Seattle patrons' faces like that. It's a good idea. I like the idea. The Brahms Arena, which I definitely respect that. I think what if we just like said, "Hey, Loves, please stop putting your patch on the jersey, and you can just be we can be the Love Center or whatever you want to call it. We can call it the Ultimate Loves Travel Stop if you want. I don't care what you call it. Just please get the patch off the jersey."
They can even put the pumps like outside. You can literally fill up at the stadium. Doesn't the Barclays Center have bodegas? We need to have gas pumps out there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Awesome.
I think I saw the Lost Ogle or somebody, he tweeted like something like the Doppler Dome or something along those lines. I think if they embrace like the weather side of it, it could be fantastic.
Interesting.
It would be awesome.
I do like that.
It would be amazing, actually. I thought that was a pretty funny idea.
The Gary England Superdome. Let's see. Lots of people wanting to know about the name of the arena. From at JJ512. What is on your bucket list for the next phase of the Thunder? And he said excluding a big thing like a championship. Is there anything else like on what you want to see from the Thunder?
Like the current form?
Yeah.
I mean, defensive rebounding, that would not giving up like
do if you could.
Yeah, not giving up 12 offensive rebounds a game. I don't know. I mean, I think that like this is like why this thing is so fun right now is because like my expectation is still what I would say somewhat based in reality. Like I still think that, talking about this team going and winning a championship this year, we're probably not there yet in all heart of hearts as much as I would, love to be able to talk about that and speak to it in reality. But at the same time, I do think that like everybody's just so young. It's incredible to me to still think that like half of the guys that we talk about and cheer for in the manner that we do, like they can't even go into a Casey's and buy a case of beer. It's incredible to me. But at the same time, I do think that, I would say, to answer the question, I would say like development of the Ousmane Diengs of the world, where you see them flash and then they get thrown down to the blue. And I was talking about this on radio the other day. It's like, it's incredible to me. And I think it speaks to just the quality that the NBA has. But when you see somebody like Trey Mann go out and somewhat struggle at times on the NBA floor and then go down to the blue, and it's like 25, 15 on, 7 for 8 shooting from behind the arc, is just like, God, these guys really do play like a just completely different game and a different level of athlete when they go up to the big leagues.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's the league is so difficult. It is so
incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. And the league is in such a good spot too right now. Just like the health of the league overall, like talent wise, and the way that most franchises are being handled is like really good. Like it's really competitive. And so it's just a great time to be an NBA fan, and specifically a great time to be a Thunder fan.
Sure.
I think another MVP, man, and I think it's going to happen.
Sure.
I think it could happen, and I think it could realistically at like a top end. I think it could happen this year. Like I think Shea has a talent to
Amazing.
win it this year. I wouldn't bet on it happening, but I do think it's like, I don't know, 15% chance of it actually happening this year. I do think like
Do you think that voting is like just so colluded in that, like I look at, like we were talking about rookie of the year this morning, and it's a
Mhm.
completely different comparison to the MVP stuff, but at the same time, it's like you look at what Chet's been able to do, and he's playing on a winning program. He's helping a winning program, obviously contributing night in and night out. It's like I'm looking at this through a completely Thunder, glasses, but at the same time, it's like I know Chet's been awesome. He's going to be awesome. I'm not
Mhm.
arguing that, but like from a value standpoint, I don't know how you could say that Chet shouldn't be the guy right now. And that's through like a very, very small sample size. But
Mhm.
same thing with Shea. It's like, is his name, I don't want to say is his name big enough, but at the same time, do people look at him like we do, like I do, as the superstar that he is? When I think there's some people that give pushback and say he's not in that top, superstar echelon yet that would garner enough attention to be able to get an MVP.
I th- I think he's on his way because the way I was in Vegas for the in season tournament
Yeah,
and talked to a lot of different people from across the country just about the team, and like when I get stopped and I just want people want to talk Thunder, and
sure.
so he's definitely there. I think most people that really pay attention to the league think of him as a top 5 player right now.
It's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, I would have never, ever, ever, even last year, at the beginning of last year, it's like, man, Shea's really good. Still, like, I don't know if he can ever be like the best. People throwing out at the beginning of the season, like, I'm not sure he could be the best player,
Sure.
on a championship level team. Like, all those thoughts like are gone. Like, he definitely is one of
So
those guys.
awesome.
Um,
We're so
let's.
damn lucky. Like, how did this even happen?
I don't. I mean, a lot of it's Sam.
Yeah,
Honestly, Sam is so brilliant, and some of it, like, he's lucky too. Like, honestly, he was lucky that Kawhi Leonard wanted to go to the Clippers.
sure.
He was lucky that Paul George agreed to go with him and that they had Shea on their team. And because how many times does a player on a rookie scale deal get traded that becomes an MVP candidate? Like, it just never ever happens. Those guys stay on the team that they're with, they hang on to them, and they become that player with the franchise that drafted them. Like, that's how it happens. And it just was like all the stars just aligned, and it felt at the time was like, oh no, like this is awful, like we're gonna suck for forever, you
I
know.
know.
um but like the stars aligned for Sam, and Sam took advantage of it, and he made sure that he got every single thing. Like, when he knew at that point, he like shifted the leverage to the Thunder during that negotiation, where it was like, no, 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 no. Like, if this is actually what you want to do, like, he's like, I'm willing to just hold out. Like, I'm
Yeah.
willing to just tell him that he's gonna stay unless you give me everything. And he got everything. And it's, so far the trade so far is Shea and J Dub for Paul George, which is insane. It's just insane.
It's wild. It's wild that it came together. I mean, thankfully it did. There's so many what ifs if, everything
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
have worked out. And clearly, like, they're not even, in my opinion, it's like it's not even, it's just like here it could be like even higher. Like it just night in and night out, they continue to surprise me. Like even Chet to a certain extent. I watched a lot of them at Gonzaga, and listening to you guys and all the NBA, scouts and all that kind of stuff. It's like you figured that it was going to be able to translate, but just
Hmm.
within this handful of 2021 games, it's been like I didn't think he was going to be as good as he's been. I didn't think he
Yeah.
was going to be coming in and to the Dallas game and completely changing the last 5 minutes and 31 seconds of that game with defense
Yeah.
that transitioned into offense. It's been spectacular.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
Mark and Dagnall's been,
Mark's
he's
great.
been he's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good for this group specifically. And he's a direct link from the front office too.
Sure.
Like, they're like completely in lockstep. which I think helps
Yeah.
quite a bit. Yeah, they're in such a good spot because, like, yeah, I mean, everything. I mean, that's just everything in life too, but like everything in the NBA with team building. I mean, if Orlando just said, you know what, screw it, we're drafting Chet. Like, we're not going to draft Paolo. We're drafting Chet.
Sure.
Would the Thunder draft Paolo? Like, would they have drafted Jabari Smith? Like, Jabari Smith's a good player, but he's like not like Chet is so much better than Jabari is. You know, that changes your ceiling. If I mean, on draft night, when SJ was drafted, the Clippers traded for him. You know, there was Miles Bridges for Shea on draft night. They swapped. Like, what if they didn't do that? You know, like there's all these like little bitty things that had to lead to this becoming the team. You know, like J-Dub was somebody that like there were teams that were after him, like trying to trade up. And part of the reason that the Thunder traded for that Knicks pick to get Jang was that other teams were trying to get it. Other teams were bidding for that pick. And so the Thunder were like, no, screw it. Like, we're trading 3 and we're getting it. And we're going to ensure that we get J-Dub and we're going to take Jang as a part of the deal. Like, Cleveland was one. Cleveland wanted to get in on that deal. So like what happens if like they don't get Jay? Like, still, like, they'd be a good team, but like nothing close to what they are now. So it's all these little decisions, and it's like really a lot. I mean, a lot of it is Sam. Like, he has a vision for what he wants this roster to look like. He has a vision for what he wants the team to look like, personality wise and like skill set wise. And he's just done a good job. And it's not just like looking at the draft and taking the best players available, because I feel like that's what Detroit has done on their road, and it has not worked because like they don't think about it as like holistically as like the team. And they've won, like, if you look at like all the drafts, like the night of the draft, like who won the draft? Oh, it's Detroit. Detroit did so good. Like, what is OKC doing? I don't know. I kind of like those guys, but I'm not sure that those are the best players available. It's like, well, they're actually like the best Thunder players available. And like, he just keeps doing it over and over again. And did the same thing with Cason Wallace in this last draft. Like, Cason's really good.
He's been awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing. So I mean, it's wild that we've gotten to this spot, but the thing is, like, they still have 18 first round picks to play with, and they have a ton of seconds. I think that's over 20 second round picks to play with. And so they can do whatever they want with the roster from here.
It's crazy. It's gotten to the point now with like the second round picks and stuff that I'm glad that you guys cover it, because after like they had like 15 of them, I was like,
yeah,
I don't need to know. Mm-hmm. We're good. We're good. They'll figure it out. Let Sam figure it out. He has a lot on his plate.
And they could go, because like what it costs at the deadline last year to get like a really, really good role player. Like, some teams spent like 5 seconds to do that. Like, the Thunder could do that and still have like 17 left.
It's insane.
It just like doesn't matter. It just doesn't really matter.
The question is would they do that? And it probably depends. And I know that like everything that you hear out of that Thunder facility is the process, everything about, not being there yet, the arrival and all that kind of stuff. It just like, it's going to be frustrating as a fan this year if they're in that position where it's, kind of where they were a year ago, where it's like you're hovering around that 6 or 7 bubble, and you're looking at it like one move could maybe all of a sudden you do have home court if they can continue to play well and develop and win games at the rate that they're doing right now. It's I don't know. I'm bought into the system, obviously, and I trust anything that they're going to do, whether I go on the radio or on Twitter and say differently. At the end of the day, it is a long-term projection, but at the same time, it's like it feels like this thing is like you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel from what was some really, really dark years.
Oh yeah. I think the real marker of when I think they will start pushing some chips in and saying like, all right, we're good, is when this current core can gel to the point that they can just like go win 50 games in their sleep.
Yeah.
And like, once they do that, it's like, all right, they can do it. Like, they can do it, because I think the temptation for every NBA franchise is to like the moment that you see even like a spark of it, you're like, all right, great, fill it with veterans and like let's
pull
go.
it. Yeah.
And we saw it with Cleveland is like a great example of that. Like Cleveland saw like just a glimmer of hope with Garland and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. They're like, oh, this is great. Let's go get Donovan Mitchell. And they go get him. And it was honestly just too early. And they were good last year, like a really good regular season team. They got to the playoffs. They got beaten round one by a Knicks team they're okay, but the Knicks are just tougher.
Sure.
And they're more experienced. And now, like you talk to anybody with any like inside knowledge of the NBA and be like, what's Donovan Mitchell going to do? Like he's not staying in Cleveland. Like Donovan wants out. Like Donovan wants to find his way away from this situation. It's like, man, they just expended the assets to get him. They traded Larry Markkinen, who's become a really good player for Utah in that deal. So like you just have to be really careful when you decide to push the chips in, because if it's not your guys that are doing it, the guy that you bring in from the outside, you don't know what they're going to bring into like the basketball mix. Like you think you have a pretty good idea of what it could look like. But then too, like personality wise, you also don't know like what does their agent want?
Yeah.
What do their parents want? What does their spouse want? I mean, it's a whole deal bringing somebody else in from the outside like that. And it's like you have to make sure that like, hey, my guys are the one that are delivering it.
Yeah.
If we're trading for you, bringing you in here, no, you're just like you're along for the ride with us. We're not asking you to take us anywhere. Like that's also just a sign of like how good they've done and how healthy the team is. Because Houston was like, oh boy, like these guys aren't taking us anywhere. Like we need somebody else to like bring it, like somebody else take us somewhere else, because where we're going is just nowhere. And it's worked for them so far this season. Like they've gotten a lot better, but the Thunder are going to look a lot different, and they're going to they have the benefit of being more patient with it, and they're going to be so. But it's exciting.
It's awesome.
At Grayson Wilbanks, what restaurant do you want in the new arena?
Ooh. Varsity Sports Grill.
Yeah.
Bring it back. It could be like one of those like inside outside things where you can enter from the outside, but you can also enter from the arena.
Ooh.
It'd be awesome.
I just think locally, I mean, like just having the mule inside.
That'd be awesome.
Would be amazing. They've already started doing a little bit of that at the arena now. They've got a few local places in there today. So they're doing a pretty good job with that. But yeah, you go to like in Vegas, it was like a bunch of just like local spots. There was like a huge part of the concourse that was just, I think it had like 4 different local restaurants. I was like, oh, this is really cool.
That's amazing.
Like I want to see that.
Yeah.
Cameron 500, will Poku see the new arena?
Oh no.
Cameron, not now, Cameron. Leave us alone and leave Poku alone.
He can Poku and Mrs. Poku can have their wedding there if they get married.
I will show up for the ceremony.
That'd be beautiful.
Show up for that ceremony.
It'd be beautiful.
It's a beautiful couple.
They are. But no, I'll go no, that he'll probably not see it. Yeah, hell, I hope that I see it. At the rate I'm going, I don't know if I'll be making it till 2029.
Yeah. I have a fully grown man Poku. Who knows? Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll go back to Europe for a few years and bulk up and then come back. Who knows? They should bring him back just for the groundbreaking. Let Poku break ground for us.
Right. He might need to be a foreman. No, he's probably made enough money. He doesn't need to do that.
At in_mill22, my buddy Nathan, is this the biggest, most important moment in Thunder history? I think it's one of them. I'm not sure that it's the most important one, but it is definitely like top 3 most important ones.
I think for sure, just in terms of the realness that came with a no vote, that if this didn't pass and the questions that, fortunately we're not having to talk about and not having to answer or know the answers to. I mean, I truly think like, it was said multiple times today, on social media. And then I think it was also said, multiple times by Mayor Holt, just in terms of this was not just a decision for the next 5 years of the Thunder. This is a decision for the next 30 or plus. And
Mm.
I think that everything that has come with, today's vote and the progress that, the city as a whole can make, I think it's so much bigger than basketball that we probably are not even we're not caught we're caught up in the moment right now, and that this is going to be so much grander, so much bigger for things that you talked about with the concerts and the possibility of hosting an all-star game someday. Like, that's just a projection of where this city could be, and obviously we're all going to benefit from it as residents of Oklahoma City at some point or the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that it's pretty high up there. I mean, I think that there are certain, like milestones or whatever you want to call it with the framework of what, that previous team was with Katie and Russ. And then, this new group, it all kind of resonates at some point, to the extent of, if you don't build this arena, you can't have those moments. I mean, think about how many people have kids out there that all they know is the Thunder, and having the Thunder around and being able to, have a team of their own that, we didn't have when we were growing up. It's still like, it's still crazy to me that we're even talking about something like this, just in terms of what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's such a good point. And also, this is going to help bring in more revenue for the Thunder.
Sure.
And there's going to be expansion that is going to happen in Seattle and Las Vegas. And like those two things, along with the new TV deal that will be signed next summer or 2025, all of that is going to be happening when the Thunder are going to be more expensive. And so like all these revenue streams are going to be coming in. And if the Thunder want to sign all the guys they have, they're going to be able to, because of moments like this too. It's like this is like an investment going toward like this team staying together and being good and not having to worry about luxury tax issues, because like they didn't have like these revenue streams coming in when it was time to pay Katie, Russ, Harden,
Sure.
Serge, all those guys. And now this is a little bit different. Like this could actually set them up to just be like, yeah, we can comfortably pay all these guys, and maybe we can't for 5 years, but maybe we can for 2 or 3. And then we can figure out what we need to do. But it allows them a little bit more flexibility just financially, which is great. At J. Brian Porter, shout out to Brian. He says, ideal company for the naming rights of the new arena. He says that Simple Modern Arena sounds pretty good. Shout out to Brian and Mike Beckham, owners of Simple Modern. Yeah, I'd be all on board for that. Mike, another Panther, Eddie.
Beautiful. The cup holders would be fantastic within the seats.
See, they would know. They would know exactly what to do. They would know exactly what to do. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else good. D Puzzle 13. Will Luke be a storm chaser now? No, never. Never ever will that happen. Let's see. All right. Anything else, Eddie, before we go? Anything else that you want to get off your chest?
No, it's just a monumental day for the city of Oklahoma City. I'm so glad that we're able to, be able to talk about this and speak about it in a manner that we are right now, because I really do think this is a big thing for the city. And I know that, there's a lot of people that have worked to kind of get to this point, and it would have been really disappointing with all the work that was put in to get the Thunder here. Initially, it would have been really sad to kind of see that all come to a screeching halt and kind of wonder what the future of this thing was going to be. But no, I think it's awesome what you guys are doing with Down to Dunk, and you personally, Andrew, it's been awesome to watch from afar. And congratulations! It's been awesome to catch up. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is awesome. This has been so fun, so much fun. People keep asking about a rebrand in the chat. Like, guys, you just got to get used to this Doritos logo. I think they want it to be like iconic or something. I get that. I mean, I don't like it. I don't think it's good at all. But I do think that they've had opportunities to rebrand,
Sure.
and a new arena is a good opportunity for a rebrand, and I think they should do it. I think they should take it. But I can tell you that you're going to keep buying the Doritos logo hats and you're going to wear them and you're going to like it, is what I think. That's what I
As
think.
long as they keep winning basketball games, nobody's going to complain.
Right.
Cures all.
Exactly. And then Matt Hartley says, how long until the Thunder are free from Bally sports? They're terrible. After this season, things are going to change. So just hold on there. I think they're going to finish out this contract with them, and then they'll figure it out in the summer. And I think it'll be a better deal for everybody. That's another thing, is like they need to figure out a way for everybody to be able to watch the Thunder on a nightly basis, because it is tough. Like, you have to intentionally watch the Thunder. Like, you can't just like casually watch a Thunder game, just like hanging out, like, oh, I haven't turned on the Thunder all season. Like, no, you can't do that. You have to pay for it in some kind of way.
It's insane.
So they have to figure out a way for you to be able to just casually watch the Thunder. Because like, if you go to any other big city that has a major sports team, even like the Red Sox or something, you go to Boston, like everybody just has the game on. Like, you go to any restaurant, you go to like anybody's house, they just have the game on. And they need to make that easy for Thunder fans starting next season. And then the Bally stuff is whatever it is.
It's awful. And I just, thankfully, like, I'm so old fashioned, Cox cable through and through, never had a problem with it. But I know that so many people cannot watch games, and it's just, it's kind of like the Major League Baseball stuff. Like, I don't know how these companies / teams, I don't know how they justify not having a product where the local fan can't watch it. Like, a Dodgers fan can't watch, Dodger baseball games if you live in the Los Angeles area. That's insane to me.
It's insane. It makes no sense.
No.
It is like really a disservice to the fan.
Sure.
At that point, in the name of making money, which is just like sickening. Like, it's just so dumb. So dumb. What's not dumb is listening to the Franchise Morning Show, which is just delightful. So go listen to Eddie every morning. Go Soonerscoop.com, YouTube, and also the podcast. Tell them about your podcast. It's great. I'm not a Sooner fan at all. Like, you know that. One of the only Sooner games I've been to, like a few. One of them was with you.
It's documented. It is documented. Yeah.
You're in your dad, and it was a Bedlam game, and I was so afraid to wear my OSU sweatshirt and to get in the car with your parents. And your dad said it was fine. Go ahead and put it on. I think your dad at that point was feeling pretty cocky that there was no chance in hell that OSU was going to beat OU that day. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, go ahead, let him put it on." And I come back and I'm like, "Okay." I think maybe we were in like third grade or something. Yeah. And I had it on, and then OSU beats OU, and I am excited and horrified at the same time.
Oh, it's great.
That I knew that I was going to have to get in the car with the Radoseviches after this game and ride home from Norman. Oh, it's so
like
good.
A high school bus, no talking.
There was no
talking to be done.
There was no talking. Like, great game, Mr. Radosevich, don't you think?
No, it's awesome. And that's the part of, like, certainly within the state lines, that's that's kind of how we grew up. That's part of the fabric that is the state of Oklahoma. And then, obviously sub into the Oklahoma City and the Thunder. And that's kind of the cool part, is that Oklahoma and Oklahoma State fans always come together. And, I think that there was a couple years there where when the Thunder were really, really good and they were competing, in the Western Conference Finals, and they were getting to the final, and like, there was nothing like Oklahoma City at that point. And I think it's kind of just like trying to recapture that kind of that mojo that was there. It's been a kind of a storybook ride, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I still don't think that we truly appreciate like what we had in terms of how quickly it all came together with that group. And hopefully, like, with this quote unquote second chance or second opportunity, you can really kind of, I don't know, the next time that they're down by 30, because it's going to happen at some point, and you're going to feel angry about it as a fan. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, okay, this happens. This happens.
Yes. Just find a way to like really enjoy this season in particular, because like this is the fun part.
Yeah,
like, that we didn't really know was the fun part the first time around in 2010. Because like I'm not sure that we could have like really even pointed it out. It's like, oh, this is kind of cool. I don't really even know what's happening. Like
Yeah.
we have this team and they're good, and like should we expect them to be good? Like how do we do this whole fandom thing? And like now we know. We know that like this is something that is going to be here for a short window, as a short window of time, that this team
Sure.
is going to have like low expectations and they're good. And it's like this is like don't miss it. Like don't fast forward to the high expectations yet, because we're just not there. Like this is just supposed to be the fun part. So
I love
enjoy
it.
the fun part. Enjoy the franchise. Enjoy Sooner Scoop. Please go listen to it. It's great content. And thanks, Eddie.
Appreciate it, Andrew. Anytime. Hopefully we will be, we'll do this again and talking about hosting some playoff games. Need to get some t-shirts
Yes.
on the
Yes.
seats, get that
Yeah.
back going. But this has been a lot of fun, man. Congratulations on everything. Always enjoy listening, and it's gonna be a lot of fun here moving forward. Now that we can say the Thunder are gonna be around here for a while.
So good. Thanks, Eddie.